the four climatic zones are the tropical, subtropical, temperate and Arctic, along with the Antarctic, are learned together. We all know tropical area latitudes, which you have learned in the geography in the junior classes. Latitude 0 to 20 degree north as well as south is the tropical zone. And we all know the mean average temperature is always more than 24 degrees in that area, and winter is absent in the tropical zone. And then the major vegetation which we find in the tropical zone is the tropical forest. Then we have the subtropical zone. The subtropical zone starts from 20 degree to 40 degree north or otherwise the south, and then the mean average temperature in these area is between 17 to 24 degrees centigrade, and winter is there, but that winter is very much mild, so hardly much change in the temperature would be there. You can make out from here. Then vegetation found there is subtropical, generally the deciduous, and deciduous vegetation is those which shed their leaves at least once in the annually you will find them, they will shed their leaves all together. That's why it is called as deciduous. Then third type possible is the temperate zone. The temperate zone is from 40 degree to 60 degree latitude north or otherwise south, and you can see a great fluctuation in the temperature there. It may be from 7 to 17 degree. Is the mean annual temperature, and then that means there is going to be occasional snowfall also, because winter is going to be not so long, but there will be a brief winter with some amount of occasional snowfall also. Vegetation found there is not just the broadleaf plants, it means angiosperm, there will be conifers also, so it's a mixed type of vegetation there. That means gymnos as well as the angiosperms would be there. Then we have the fourth climatic zone, that is the Arctic and the Antarctic zone, and that is between 60 to 80 degree latitudes north as well as south, and there the temperature easily goes, annual temperature easily goes even below 7 degrees centigrade, and winter is a very prolonged winter, harsh winter, and there is a lot of snowfall in that area. And the vegetation there is basically the Arctic vegetation, in which you will find short plants and some amount of gymnosperms. Now remember that similar type of variation, just like we have seen now, that there, when you talk about the various latitudes, away from the center you find tropical, then subtropical. The further you go towards the pole is the temperate, and then the Arctic and Antarctic zones. In the same manner, when we try to rise up in a hilly area, what you call in geography as altitude, so similar zones are also observable when we go high into the mountains. So in the mountains also a similar type of climatic and vegetation zonation is possible as we start going higher above the mountain. A high mountain, when we talk about an area, like if there is a hilly area in the tropical zone, then you will find at the bottom tropical, then subtropical, then temperate, and then alpine type of, alpine is same like Arctic and Antarctic, alpine type of vegetation is, or zones are there. And if there is a mountain which is in the subtropical area, you will find there is a subtropical, remember tropical will be missing, subtropical, then temperate, and then again alpine type. So in the mountains we don't use the word Arctic, and we only use alpine type. In the same manner, if there is a mountain in the subtropical zone, you will find only two types will be there. The if it is in the I think I spoke opposite. If it is in the temperate zone, you will find only two types will be there, temperate and the alpine. So this is how variations in the zones is also visible when we go up into the mountains, as we attain more and more altitudes in the mountain. So this is how climate changes the type of vegetation. And we all know in the food chains, in the topic of ecosystem in junior classes, we have learned that first trophic level is always occupied by producers. So the type of producers control the type of consumers that will be found there. So that's why vegetation plays an important role in shaping the ecosystem. Now the next thing is habitat. Habitat is a specific place with certain combinations of factors where plants, animals adapt for better survival. And we all know that in biology the main thing is not just the survival but to reproduce and leave as many progenies for next generation as possible. That is the fitness of an organism. So there is another term which is called as niche. This term was introduced, it is even in the NCERT mentioned. So the term niche was introduced by Grinnell in 1917. The other word for this is ecological niche. Niche is the part of the habitat occupied by the individual of a species having its range of tolerance, food, movement, activity and time. So niche is the not just the habitat, and then what exactly are the conditions in which in that habitat this animal lives, and the food it takes, how much movement, how far the movement, and what all activities and what is the time of these activity. All this is done. That means the activities performed by the organism in its habitat is called as the niche. So niche, each species occupy a different niche. Each species that shows metamorphosis show change in the niche. We all know this concept, that you will find the frog or toads. Toads are easily found on land, but when you see their tadpoles, they are in water. So those organisms which show metamorphosis, or you look at the dragonfly. Dragonfly is aerial, but its larvae or nymphal stage or is found in the water again. So those which show metamorphosis show change in the niche in different stages of their life. Mosquitoes is aerial, but their pupa and larvae are underwater. So this shows that organisms which show metamorphosis show change in their niche also. So similar niche is possible if the same habitat is there. So organisms which occupy a similar niche in the same habitat are called as guild. So when we talk about a tiger occupying the topmost carnivore, topmost trophic level is the guild. Because when we say lion also occupy the similar type of habitat in the same habitat and occupy a similar position, but in different habitats. Like example, in the North America we have one trophic level topmost organism, and in the Asia we have similar trophic level, similar food, but different organism. So we will call them as ecological equivalence. So guilds occupy the same habitat and similar niche. Ecological equivalents occupy same niche but different habitat.